Hello, hello, hello. We're back again, starting with Tutorial D, Perspective Warp. So, there's some directions here. I highly suggest you take a look at these, read them as well. It actually has a step-by-step breakdown for creating this image here, and we're going to get our train on a track. We're working with train on track. This one is due, so you're going to want to save this as a JPEG when you're completely finished with it, but keep those as a .psd Photoshop file for a little bit so you can finish it up before you're finalized. So I'm going to go ahead and with these directions, it's asking us to open from Bridge. So I'm going to open it up from Bridge, so you can see what that looks like. So when I'm in Photoshop, I'm going to go to File, Browse, and Bridge. And that's just going to open up Bridge for me. You can see the icon right here. In Bridge, I'm going to go to my desktop, to my tutorial files. I have a lot of folders. You can change the view of this as well. Let me show you how to do that. So I could, if I want a grid view, or you can check out what these different views look like. It should be right in front of me. I just have so many folders. I saw it just a few minutes. There it is, Photoshop tutorials. And you can see what that looks like. I'm going to leave it highlighted. And when we have a list view as well. So I'm going to go to D, Perspective Warp, and that train track folder, which is due. I'm going to click on both these images. You can see there's a PDF there, and there is a PDF. .psd file there. And the nice thing about Bridge is it lets you have more of a breakdown. I can move these bars over here, and I can look and I can see the size of this image. It's at 2000 by 1335 pixels, 72 pixels per inch, RGB color space. So it gives me quite a bit of information here about it. I can put some keywords to it if I wanted to for an easy search. So I'm going to simply double click on this image. It's going to open it into Photoshop. Now let me zoom in here and show you what's going on. We got a floating train. We need to get our train on the track. So it's a composite of two images. And we're going to get that train on the track. Now these are some really large trees. This looks like it's in the redwoods in California, doesn't it? Okay, so we're going to use Perspective Warp, which is Edit, Perspective Warp. Now, if you want to read along in the directions, it's going to tell you it says it'll have trouble if you don't have enough RAM. Most of you should have enough. You're going to draw a quad. That's what they're calling it. Sometimes I call these, they feel like little pins, but they're calling it a quad. So I'm just going to click on here, and it starts this grid. And I can take each corner of these grids. It gives me a little push pin, if you would, as an icon when I am next to selecting something. And I'm just going to go ahead and get the basic outline of this train. I'm going to, outline that caboose. And when I've got it where I want it, I'm going to click up here to Warp. And then I'm going to click these three lines here first. There we go. So now I've got these pins, and I can warp it. So I'm actually I want some perspective on it because these trees are large trees. Look at them in comparison. Wow, they're very large with the tracks there. So we're going to I can just simply get my train on the track. Or if I want to add some dramatic, like it's really coming at a strong perspective as well, I could do that too. And once I have it, Just make sure I've got this train on the track. I'm going to zoom in really quickly. Make sure I have this train on the track. Yes, my train. Oops, maybe I need to get my wheels on just a little bit better. There we go. So once I have that done, maybe if I wanted to make it even more dramatic, that the caboose would be smaller in the background. It looks a little wonky, like a toy train like that. And now that I have my train on the track, I'm going to hit return. And it is finished. I'm going to save this file now. You see it put that perspective warp in my layers. And it's all underneath that train layer there. I'm going to save this because it's due to turn in. I'm going to save this particular one as a JPEG. And I'm going to put my name after it. And it's ready to turn in. Okay, let's, I'm signing out. We're going to do our next tutorial in just a few minutes.